A local eatery loses the fight to hold on against COVID. Celebrating its third year, Eco Week in Arlington expands to 10 days. And the state takes the next step back to normal. These stories and more coming up on ACMi News.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello, Arlington, and welcome to ACMi News. I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm James Milan. We've got a lot on the agenda today, starting with the annual town meeting.
With a whopping 91 warrant articles to get through, town meeting began this week. We spoke to town manager Adam Chapdelaine for his take on the first sessions.
So this week we got through our first two sessions of annual town meeting. We're still in the virtual format, as we know, same as we did last fall. And I think it's important to say thank you to all the staff that are making it happen and for all the town meeting members for their patience and commitment to continuing to learn this new way of doing Arlington's government business. It was a busy two sessions. We did this year what's called a consent agenda. It's something the moderator has been trying to use for the past couple years with limited success this fall during virtual town meeting. But on Monday evening, 49 articles were disposed of via the consent agenda of the 91 articles total, which is pretty impressive. And I think also impressive given what was contained within that consent agenda. From very practical business, like adopting the community development block grant budget, that was contained within the consent agenda, or very meaningful votes like adopting Indigenous Peoples Day, changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, to adopting Juneteenth as a holiday to be recognized in town, to adopting a resolution declaring a climate emergency in Arlington, to adopting and recognizing Prince Hall Day in Arlington. There was some real meat in those 49 articles that were passed on the consent agenda. So a lot of business was done on Monday. And then on the Wednesday night session, we made less progress. We got through 3 warrant articles at Wednesday's session, but also important articles talking about domestic partnerships and how they would be defined in Arlington, as well as talking about how once we come out of the pandemic, we're going to work to still try to provide remote participation to public meetings, even if the committees, boards, and commissions are back in person themselves. So there's still a long way to go. I think we have 35 or 36 articles left, but we've accomplished a lot in a short period of time, and I look forward to the continued debates in the weeks to come.
Last week, we did a story that explored the question, should Massachusetts end its outdoor mask mandate? Well, on Tuesday, April 27th, Governor Baker announced that there will be a relaxation of the face covering order in some outdoor settings. According to the governor's office, face coverings will only be required outside in public when it is, quote, not possible to socially distance. Social distancing remains in force. Face coverings are still mandated in indoor public venues and at all times at both indoor and outdoor events that draw a crowd. Governor Baker also laid out the schedule for Phase 4, Step 2 of the reopening plan. The town of Arlington announced that it will follow current state guidance on gathering limits. For more details about the next step in the reopening plan and gathering limits, here's ACMi News correspondent In-Young Kim.
As vaccination rates increase in Massachusetts and COVID-19 infections are declining, the Commonwealth is ready to take the next step in the reopening plan to take us into the new normal. Governor Charlie Baker announced the new step on Tuesday, April 27th. The plan is to ease COVID-19 restrictions so that the state can transition back to a pre-pandemic lifestyle by late summer. In mentioning that COVID-19 cases have dropped while vaccination rates have increased due to the collective efforts of residents, the governor revealed that Massachusetts ranked first in the nation for administering vaccines per capita among states with more than 5 million people.
All this progress toward getting people back to normal has been possible because of everyone's commitment to stop the spread of COVID and people lining up and getting a vaccine when it's their turn. The light at the end of the tunnel, thanks to the hard work of so many, is getting closer, and we can start to look ahead with real optimism for the path forward.
Governor Baker talked about specific guidelines for May 10, May 29, and August 1st, while announcing that those who are fully vaccinated will not require masks outdoors. On May 10, sports arenas like Fenway Parks and TD Garden can expand capacity to 25%, amusement parks to 50%, and road races and other such competitions can resume. On May 29th, the limits on public gatherings will be eased even more. Indoor capacity will be increased to 200 people and outdoors will be 250. Bars can reopen without serving food. Also, restaurants can increase table size to 10 and remove food service requirement. By August 1st, all businesses can reopen without restrictions, and places where people gather in crowds, like nightclubs and water parks, will resume operating. With ongoing efforts from residents, Baker expects the state could return to normal days more quickly.
We hope that with more vaccines and a continued success in stopping COVID, we can take this step earlier, but it will depend on everyone continuing to get vaccinated and doing the right things.
Arlington will apply the latest guidelines, which include several changes. You can check out those guidelines on the state website. For ACMi News, I'm In-young Kim.
Thanks, In-young. The reopening plan is still subject to change based on public health metrics. More changes are expected as Governor Baker announced new legislation aimed to update our travel laws and improve road safety across the Commonwealth. ACMi News correspondent Isabel Litterst tells us about the key components of that bill.
On Monday, April 26th, the Baker administration introduced a road safety bill to the state legislature. The bill, officially called an act relative to improving safety on the roads of the Commonwealth, combines a few new and previously filed bills into one package.
Over the past year, even with the decrease in driving during the pandemic, and maybe in part because of that, Massachusetts saw 334 roadway deaths, most of which were single-car accidents, and the primary cause in many cases was speed. This was almost even with the 336 deaths in 2019. We can certainly help prevent these traffic deaths, so today we're refiling several provisions and some new proposals to promote road safety.
According to the governor's press office, parts of the bill will allow law enforcement officers to stop motorists who drive without a seatbelt. The bill will also modify Haley's Law to impose harsher penalties for individuals who cause bodily harm while driving on a suspended license with increased fines and jail time. Haley's Law is named after a 20-year-old who was struck and killed by a motorist operating under a suspended license in 2014. New punishments would include a $5,000 fine and 2 to 10 years in prison if the driver kills someone. The bill will also allow local municipalities the option to install red light traffic cams if passed. Under the bill, cameras would be restricted to collecting photographs only upon a violation and only of the vehicle's license plates. Violations would include running a red light and making an illegal turn on a red light.
I'm proud to be here today to continue building on the progress we began during the last legislative session in 2019, when our administration proposed several new bills to help save lives and prevent deaths on our roads. The cameras would be restricted to collecting photographs only upon a violation and only of the vehicle license plate. The violations would include running a red light and making an illegal turn on a red light. It's been shown in studies that red light cameras, which are used in over 300 communities across our country today, have been instrumental in reducing dangerous accidents and roadway deaths. That data is very important to inform these provisions.
Governor Baker is also calling on the Department of Transportation to form an advisory group to recommend a new statutory framework to ensure safe use of low-speed modes of transportation, such as electric scooters and bikes.
Most importantly, it will keep residents of Massachusetts safe and ensure that fewer travelers are killed on our roads. The legislation includes important provisions to ensure that the rules of the road are followed and strict consequences if they're not.
For ACMi News, I'm Isabel Litterst.
Assuming the bill passes, it will be important that we all keep track and stay aware of the changes as we hit the road. Speaking of road safety, a hit-and-run incident occurred at the intersection of Mass Ave and Brattle Street late at night on Monday, April 26th. According to reports, as a pedestrian attempted to cross Brattle Street, a motor vehicle came out of nowhere, struck the pedestrian, and drove off. There are no security cameras in that vicinity, so it is unclear where the vehicle was coming from, the direction it was traveling, or what kind of vehicle it was. The victim reported right leg pain and suffered a head injury and was brought to Mount Auburn Hospital. The incident is actively under investigation by the Arlington Police Department.
Also under investigation, a 2-alarm fire that broke out at the Thai Moon restaurant on Mass Ave in Arlington Center. The fire broke out sometime around 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 29th. There are no reported injuries, and adjacent businesses were not heavily affected as fire crews from Arlington and other agencies worked to put it out. The cause of the fire is undetermined and is under active investigation. This is a developing story and will continue to monitor the situation.
Not too far from the scene of the fire, a neighborhood eatery in the center that was closed down temporarily due to the pandemic is now permanently shuttered. Not Your Average Joe's will not reopen this spring. The announcement was made on the restaurant's Facebook page by an Arlington resident and employee who works there. The restaurant chain suspended its Arlington location in early January, designating it as a low-volume venue, and hoped to reopen by this time. Regrettably, that will not be the case.
One pandemic innovation that is returning to town is the Parklet program. Parklets are converted parking spaces that are turned into seating areas for safe dining as restaurants continue to operate under the state's health guidelines. You'll find parklets in multiple locations around town, including Broadway Plaza and on Medford Street. Park Terrace will be closed to vehicle traffic and has been temporarily converted into an outdoor seating area and pedestrian plaza. Russell Common Municipal Lot will continue to be accessible via Mystic and Chestnut Streets. In Arlington Heights, a parklet will be installed in the taxi cab stand on Massachusetts Avenue near the Arlington Heights bus depot. Private restaurants will also have designated parklet spaces.
You know, James, I've never actually heard the term parklet before, but you know, they're springing up everywhere and they're a really good way to have people eat outside in the midst of the pandemic.
Yes, and of course you wouldn't have heard of parklet because so many things that we didn't hear about before the pandemic, we're leaving the pandemic, we hope, with. And parklets hopefully will be one of those.
We hope, and necessity is the mother of invention, so.
Absolutely. We're now going to take a short break and we're going to show you a promo for one of our youth shows. And this promo is a special one because it actually won a national award.
And we'll tell you about a week plus of fun and engaging activities heading our way, and a recent distinction that has Arlington standing out from a number of surrounding communities. We'll be right back.
Action.
Welcome back to UView, the show dedicated to all things Arlington youth.
I'm trying to get out of my house. I'm trying to leave this town. I'm trying to figure this out, but I can't do it alone. I'm waiting on the day when we all turn our backs and go our separate ways. I'm waiting on the day, but I'm dreading when I have to see you cry. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'm not ready to see you cry. The poison lights like a lonely night. Stay. 'Cause I can't do it alone. I'm trying to get out of my house. I'm trying to leave this town. I'm trying to figure this out, but I can't do it alone. I'm waiting on the day when we all turn our backs and go our separate ways. I'm waiting on the day, but I'm dreading when I have to see you cry. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'm not ready to see you cry. The poison lights like a lonely night.
Cut.
Welcome back to ACMi News. I'm Paul Werlin, also here with James Milan in the studio. You know, Earth Day may have passed, but the spirit of global sustainability doesn't stop there. Here in Arlington, the spirit continues with Eco Week, a major collaborative effort between town agencies, nonprofits, and volunteers that is inviting everyone to get involved. Senior news producer Anim Osmani digs into the details.
Eco Week kicks off on May 5th with a series of events and activities. Taking a walk in the park, looking at some art, or producing a quick 1-minute video are just a few of the many ways Arlingtonians can get into the spirit of Eco Week.
We do have quite an eventful week indeed, which is very exciting and really gives an opportunity for everyone to participate. There's something for everyone here.
Eco Week will feature live Q&A sessions and presentations with town leaders that address a wide range of issues regarding the environment. There are a host of opportunities to engage with the town's leading environmentalists.
I'm really excited. I love engaging with the public, and Zoom right now is a really convenient way to do it. So I'm going to put together 20-minute presentations, just some of the most intriguing topics about recycling as I see it now. Sometimes that's answering the most typical questions that people have about recycling, but I also hope to poke people to think a little bit more broadly about their waste production.
Additionally, a prominent figure in the conversation about conservation will be featured in a community conversation series, Parker McMullen Bushman.
Parker identifies as part diva, artist, and educator, and she's the founder of a diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting firm called Eco Inclusive. And she also is the creator of Queen Work, and Queen, I love, stands for Keep Widening Environmental Engagement Narratives. And so we are really looking forward to Parker widening our environmental engagement narrative for Eco Week. And we're excited for the town to engage in this really important conversation.
That's not all. How about a video contest? Arlingtonians can show off their green pride by submitting a video to ACMi that can be featured on its multimedia platforms. Submission details are available on their website, acmi.tv/EcoWeek. And finally, there's a National City Nature Challenge.
That involves going out in nature and observing and taking pictures of wildlife or trees, plants, and then there's a program. When you sign up for this, you go on and everybody's sort of uploading their images and their notes and their observations, and it's really like citizen science.
This is Arlington's third annual celebration of raising awareness and inspiring action on behalf of our planet.
Please join us for Arlington Eco Week. It's a wonderful week-long event for all ages. There's something for everyone.
Although we mentioned a number of the activities, there are even more on the agenda. All events are free for all ages and pre-registration is required. For all the details and information you need, visit arlingtonma.gov/EcoWeek. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Thanks, Anim. You know, that is a lot of activities that Arlington has for residents to participate in. It's great.
Eco Week is just one of those weeks that really brings out the spirit of Arlington. Activism everywhere and engagement all the time.
And it's springtime, so what better time?
While we're highlighting the town's efforts to reduce our carbon footprint, I think it's worth mentioning that Arlington actually placed second on a list of the greenest communities in the greater Boston area, according to Boston Magazine. We hear reactions from a few of the town's leading environmentalists.
Yeah, that was really exciting news, I have to say. And that's really related to the incredible work that the energy manager and the Clean Energy Future team has done under the leadership of the town manager to just make sure that we're maximizing all of our opportunities as a green community, and as well as going above and beyond what the Green Community Grant Program has allowed us to competitively earn and spend wisely. It's very exciting to be part of a community that is so forward thinking. And I think waste diversion is a way that people feel that they can personally contribute to climate change mitigation. And I really hope that through Eco Week and through recognition as a environmental green community, in even broader circles, that people will take some next steps. And not everybody can afford to put solar panels on their house, but this buying clean electricity is a really great next step that people can take. So I welcome this recognition by the greater Boston area. It's very exciting. And, you know, we're on you, Cambridge. We're coming after you. Maybe next time we'll be first.
It feels pretty incredible. That Boston Magazine story that ranked Arlington as the second greenest community in the greater Boston area is a huge accolade, and it's a testament to everything the town has done really for the last 20 years to reduce its environmental impact and to make the community more sustainable. And to come in right behind Cambridge is pretty incredible, given that, I mean, Cambridge, I know the people working in Cambridge on sustainability, they're fantastic, but I think Arlington has a lot to be proud of. And that goes for a lot of people in town government and a lot of volunteers in town who've done so much over the years.
If it was on a sliding scale of resource availability, we probably would beat Cambridge based on the resources we have available. But it, you know, it's not a formal award, but I think it's recognition for good work done by a lot of people in this town, from town staff to town volunteers to just your average residents participating in things like the Arlington Community Electricity Program. It's a recognition that, you know, really over the past, 20 years or more, Arlington has really been committed to, under different names, sustainability, climate change, being green. But at the end of the day, we're committed to getting to where we need to be by 2050 or earlier to slow down the impacts of climate change. When you look at the list and you see Lexington and you see Melrose and you see Newton, I name those communities because I'm familiar with their varied and comprehensive efforts on sustainability. And I know they're awesome, but to see that an author put together a ranking system and that we scored better than communities like that, even makes you feel better about it. I mean, we want all boats to rise with this tide and for everybody to be as green as possible, but it is absolutely true that when you rank that highly amongst a pretty competitive class of communities, it's meaningful.
Kudos to the city of Cambridge. They received a near perfect score in Boston Magazine's metric of 19 indicators, maxing out in all categories but one.
Another development to celebrate is a recent grant awarded to Arlington by the state. We received an economic boost from a pilot program initiated by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Once again, here's Anim Osmani, the hardest working man at ACMi News.
Oh, that guy again.
In an effort to revitalize the tourism industry, the Baker administration awarded $1.5 million in grants to 59 organizations, chambers of commerce, and municipalities. Arlington is one of the communities that qualified for this very competitive grant.
I was surprised to see that there weren't that many chambers, that received awards. There were some, but not a ton, and none of our neighboring towns had received one.
The Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism recently announced $1.5 million of grant funding as part of the newly created Travel and Tourism Recovery Grant Pilot Program. Funds from the grant pilot program are dedicated to marketing projects that support the My Local MA campaign, enhance tourism recovery, and seek to increase non-resident visitation.
I think before the pandemic, we all know how great our Commonwealth is, but I think more so now, we don't take any of what we have in this Commonwealth for granted, and we cherish it and love it more than ever. And we want to make sure that what we have to offer continues to be there, and we want to support it and grow it and just nurture it and make sure that this year it is showcased more than ever. So these grants certainly will allow us to do that.
The Arlington Chamber of Commerce received $24,750 through the program to create Visit Arlington MA, a marketing campaign to promote arts and culture in Arlington, as well as local shopping.
We'll be spending we're putting a lot of effort into promoting the arts and also the Arlington Cultural District.
The funds will be used to develop the marketing campaign and to create a website dedicated to promoting visitation that includes flyers, commercials, and the other supporting materials that make an effective tourism campaign. Beth Locke hopes to increase visitation in this small, quaint town many of us call home.
We're looking to capture folks who might be coming to the area, to day trippers, for example, who might be coming to the area to visit Lexington and Concord, or Cambridge, or both. And we've sort of anecdotally learned that a lot of people will say go to Cambridge and then hop on Route 2 and go straight past Arlington and loop around and go to Lexington and Concord. And we want them to come up Mass Ave and visit our businesses, eat lunch in Arlington, do a walking tour.
Congratulations to the 59 communities to take these dollars to work regionally and to really showcase the best of our Commonwealth.
The website and digital marketing campaign are currently in development, and the website is expected to launch sometime in July. But for now, we can all try to make #VisitArlingtonMA a thing by encouraging our friends to stop by and shop around. Reporting from Arlington Heights, I'm Animo Osmani, ACMi News.
Thanks, Anin. Arlington is certainly a destination of note for its historical significance as well as its natural beauty.
It's also home to the most diverse restaurant scene in the area and has a strong foundation that promotes the arts. Moving on, what does our Studio B crew have for us in this week's Ponderscope? Guys, take it away.
Welcome to the Ponderscope, your Arlington High School news, updates, and more. The AHS Scoops Club is excited to announce the return of Arlington's Got Talent, the live, community-wide virtual talent show fundraiser that benefits cancer research at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Any person or group of any age is invited to submit themselves performing a talent of their choosing, including but not limited to singing, dancing, magic, performing a dramatic monologue, improv sketch, or anything else that you'd like to show off to the community. The submission deadline is Sunday, May 23rd. All submissions will then be compiled together and presented over 2 talent show live streams on June 11th and June 12th at 6 p.m. To submit a talent or for more information, visit the event website bit.ly/scoopsweek. You can also stay updated with the event by following @AHS_scoops on Instagram. AP exams begin on Tuesday, May 4th. Over the next few weeks, all exams will be administered either in person or digitally. Make sure to check ahead of time the appropriate instructions for the exam you are taking and what date you will be testing. The deadline to receive a refund is Wednesday, May 5th. If you have any questions, please contact Mr. Thornton at rthornton@arlington.k12.ma.us. The first week of May is Teacher Appreciation Week. Make sure to take some time to show your appreciation for your teachers for all the incredible work that they do. A variety of ways you can support them have been sent to your Spy Ponders email. On May 14th and 15th, the Senior Family Committee is hosting a movie night for seniors. Snacks and a special gift exclusively for seniors will be provided. The maximum capacity is 150 seniors per night. Event registration details will be sent to your Spy Ponders email in the coming days. Now, after over 3 years, this will be my final Ponderscope. I've enjoyed having this opportunity to provide you with updates every week, and I hope you have found them helpful. So now, for the last time, I'm Sagar Stogie, and this has been the Ponderscope.
And that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching this week's newscast. For the cast and crew of ACMi News, I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm James Milan. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.